Bright Duty. Every student matters.
Topic 2. And here we look at the various types of economy. So we learned about what economy is, what are economic activities, and now we will see what are the different kinds of economies. Okay. So there are three kinds of economies which are based on the three important bases. Okay. One is on the basis of nature. The second kind of economy is based on the basis of ownership over the means of production. So who has ownership over the means of production? Okay, who has control over wealth, who has control over land, property, etc. The third is economy which is based on the basis of level of development. How developed the economy is or how underdeveloped that economy is. So we will look at the first kind of economy which is categorized based on the basis of nature. Okay. So again this category is divided into four divisions and they are simple and complex economy, closed and open economy, planned and unplanned economy, or they are also called controlled or free economy, and the last one is agricultural and industrial economy. So these are on the basis of nature. Okay. We'll look at the first one, simple and complex economy. Now out of this, we'll first look at the simple and then go on to look at the complex one. So what is simple economy? As the term itself suggests, simple economy is where people produce simple kinds of goods in limited quantity. Okay, they don't produce in large quantity. In limited quantity, simple kinds of goods are produced to satisfy their wants. Okay, so that is simple economy. Now here in simple economy, people have limited wants. That's why they don't produce in huge amounts. Okay, and here barter system prevails. So barter system is one of the systems used for exchange of goods and services. Okay, if you have rice and I have water, but you don't have water and I don't have rice, so we exchange it. I give you rice and you give me water, which we both need, right? So that kind of exchange is barter system. So in this system, goods and services are exchanged for other goods and services which we may not have. Okay, and here money is not used as a medium of exchange. Money is not used. Today we use money as a medium of exchange. We want something, we want to get the goods, we want to get the services, so we use money as a medium of that exchange. Okay. So how does the barter system work? This is an example, a very simple example. So a farmer gives wheat to a blacksmith and to a carpenter. Okay, blacksmith and a carpenter receives wheat, some grain, crop from the farmer, and in return to the grain, the farmer receives the services. So the blacksmith will fix some tools and the carpenter will come and fix tools or the house or any other thing that the farmer needs. Okay, so that way goods and services are exchanged. Alright. The simple economy, the life in the simple economy is quite isolated. Okay, quite secluded, quite aloof, and it is also self-sufficient. Okay, they do not need many things, they are quite self-sufficient. So the simple economy is also called self-sufficient economy. Okay, let us see why. Because the production process is very simple, they do not use complex methods to produce goods, and they do not have many needs. They have limited needs. Because of that, they make limited production. The production is very limited. Okay, and that is why they are called self-reliant economy, because the goods that are produced, they are produced for self-consumption. Whatever they need, they produce the good according to that need. Okay, and more than that, they do not produce. Okay, so these kind of simple economies, they existed in many villages in India in earlier times, in old times. Okay. Now, so that is simple economy. Now let us look at complex economy. In complex economy, large variety of goods are produced in large quantities. In simple economy, I'm trying to bring the contrast here. Okay? In the simple economy, we said simple goods are produced in limited quantity. But in complex, large quantity of goods is produced, large varieties of goods are produced in large quantities. Okay? The process of production here is highly complex and advanced, while the process of production in the simple economy was very simple. Here, in complex economy, money is used as a medium of exchange. But if you remember, in the simple economy, money was not used. They used barter system. Okay. So in the complex economy, goods are produced with a motive, with an aim to sell them in the markets to make earnings. Okay. Goods are made not only for themselves, but goods are made in large quantities so that they can sell them in the market and make profit out of it, make money out of it. Okay. And here, the facilities like transport, communication, banking, insurance services, etc., internal, external, national, international trade, all that facilities are available. But in the simple economy, those facilities, those infrastructures are not available. Okay? The complex economy came into existence in our world in the post-industrial revolution period. So after the industrial revolution, the complex economy came to exist within our society. Okay. Now, industrial revolution, I'm pretty sure you must have already learned about it in history. So, do not get confused. It's a period where there was a boom of industries, trade, commerce, goods and services, etc. Okay. The second one is closed and open economy. So, we'll look at again the first one, which is closed economy. Now, closed economy is an economy which has no economic relations with the rest of the world, with the outside world, with other countries. Okay? So, that means neither export or import of goods take place. Okay? Between the country which has closed economy and the rest of the countries. Here, the economic activities of that country within the community remain unaffected by what happens outside of it, because it's closed. So it does not matter what happens outside of it, because their economy is going on however they want, right? The economy here is self-reliant. They rely on themselves. They don't rely on others, and they are independent. Okay, they do not depend on others. So you can imagine closed economy is like a room whose all doors and windows are shut. So no one can come in and no one can go out of it. So closed economy is like that. Okay. USSR, present day Russia, earlier it used to be called USSR. So USSR had this kind of economy, which is closed economy, for many years after the revolution of 1970. Again, this is a historical event which you may or will very soon learn about it in your history classes. Okay. So, after this event, the revolution of 1917, USSR continued to have the closed economy for many years. Alright. But nowadays, closed economies are not practiced by countries in the world. Okay. So that was closed economy, where there is no interactions or economic relations with the countries outside. What is open economy? Now, open is opposite of the closed. Here, the countries have economic relations with other countries or the rest of the world. So that means they have export and import of goods and services between that country and the rest of the world or other countries. And they buy foreign shares, bonds, debentures, etc. and vice versa. So there's always transactions happening between the two countries or more. Okay? They borrow from other countries, they lend to other countries, so all that happens. Gifts are sent to foreigners and they also receive gifts from foreign countries. Okay? So there is coming in and going out of goods and services in various forms, which means it's open. The country has open economy. So in this open economy, people can also go out of the country to other countries and work. And in the similar manner, people from other countries can come into the country which has open economy and work there. Okay? So that is open economy. Now the third one, planned and unplanned economy. So first we'll look at planned. Planned economy is also called controlled economy. And why it is called planned or controlled is because here the economy is controlled by the government. The government of that country has full control on all economic activities. Okay? So all decisions regarding production, distribution, exchange, they are taken by the government. Okay? India is an example, a very good example of such planned economy, where the government takes decisions regarding production, distribution, exchange of goods and services. Okay. Now, unplanned economy or free economy is opposite or different than the planned or controlled economy. Here, the economic activities, they are determined by the free play of market forces, meaning the market or the economy is free. Okay? Here, there is no government interference. The government has no control over the management of the economic activities. Okay? So, the prices, the distribution, the exchange, the production, it all depends upon the demand and supply for goods and services. So, according to how much demand a good has, the production will happen accordingly. According to how much supply is required, the production, distribution, exchange will happen. The prices will be decided accordingly. Okay, so it is a free market and the government has zero interference here. Okay, the fourth one is agricultural and industrial economy. So first we'll look at agricultural economy. So in agricultural economy, as the term itself suggests, agriculture is the main occupation of the people. And if not agriculture, if not growing of crops, then the associated occupations are taken by the people, like animal husbandry, right? Like taking care of the livestock or buying or selling of animal products like wool or dairy products, eggs, meat, etc. So all that people whose main occupation is related to agriculture or its allied activities, so that economy is called agricultural economy. Okay, here the people are mostly illiterates. Okay, they are not educated, they do not know how to read and write, and they are backward. They use old methods of production, okay, traditional methods of production, and the infrastructural facilities like transport, railways, and others, okay, they are underdeveloped. Okay, banking, insurance, all these services are underdeveloped. So some of the examples or some of the countries who have these kind of economy, agricultural economy, are India, Pakistan, Brazil. Okay. Now, industrial economy is an economy where it is dominated by people whose main occupation is in industry and trade. So, in agricultural economy, people's main occupation was in agriculture or allied activities. Now, in industrial economy, people's main occupation is in industry or trade. Okay? Here, people are modern and advanced, while in agricultural economy, people were illiterate and backward. In industrial economy, the methods that they use for production are complex and advanced. But in agricultural economy, the methods were old. Okay? The production in industrial economy is taken place. The production happens on a large scale. It's not a small scale production. The production happens in a massive scale. Okay? Here, the infrastructural facilities like transport, banking and other services, medical services, all that services are well developed. But in agricultural economy, it was underdeveloped. So some of the countries which have industrial economy are USA, UK, Japan, etc. Now, economies can be classified on the basis of ownership of the means of production as well. So, all these different types of economies that we were looking at just now, they were divided on the basis of their nature. Okay. Now, we will look at how economies are divided on the basis of who owns them, who has ownership. So, there are three divisions in this classification. The first one is capitalistic economy, the second one is socialistic economy, and the third one is a mixed economy. We'll look at the first one, which is capitalistic economy. Now, capitalistic economy comes from capitalism. Okay? Now, capitalism, what is capitalism? We have heard this term as well, right? But what does it mean? So, capitalism is an economic organization where the means of production, which is land, capital, wealth, that is owned by private people or individuals or organizations. They are not owned and controlled by governments. Okay, they are owned by private individuals. In capitalistic economy, people are free to make use of their wealth and capital according to how wealthy you are, according to how much capital property you have. You can use it in any way you like. Okay? So the economy here in capitalistic economy is based on private enterprises, private businesses. They run the economy. Okay? So the economic activities in a capitalistic economy is guided, motivated by self-interest and profit. Everybody in a capitalistic economy wants to have profit for themselves. Everybody wants to make sure that their interest, their desire, that their motive is fulfilled. They do not care about others. They have the money, they should have profit, they should be benefited, their interest should be met. Okay? They do not care about others. And here the economy is free, or the term is laissez-faire, okay, where there is zero government intervention. So people who control capital, who control wealth, who have property, who are very rich, they are free to conduct their economic and their businesses, their enterprises, how they want to price the goods or services that people can use and consume to satisfy their needs. Okay? Like we were looking at the definitions of economy, now there are many definitions of capitalism as well. So this person called Ferguson, he defines capitalism as a system in which property is privately owned and economic decisions are also privately made. So the private individuals, private enterprises are very powerful. They are the ones making all the decisions. Okay. Another person whose name is R.T. Bai, he also provides a definition of capitalist economy. Now, capitalist economy for him may be defined as that system of economic organization in which free enterprise, competition, and private ownership of property generally prevail. So everything is owned by private individuals, organizations. There is competition, and the enterprise is free. That is capitalist economy for RTY. Now, capitalistic economy, it emerged out of the Industrial Revolution of England during 1760 to 1820. So, after the or out of the Industrial Revolution, when Industrial Revolution took place, this capitalism or capitalist economy also emerged from that. Okay. So some of the countries which practice or which have capitalistic economy, they are United Kingdom, United States of America, Japan, France, West Germany, Australia, Canada. Okay. Now, although we have already discussed what capitalistic economy is, but let us look at their features. So, in capitalist economy, we know that the property, capital, land, means of production are privately owned. Okay, they're owned by individuals, they're owned by organizations, they're owned by all these people. Okay, here there's a freedom of enterprise and contract. People who have money, who have wealth, who have capital, who own land and property, they are free to produce, they are free to distribute, they are free to put the prices for the goods and services as they like. Okay? There's freedom of consumption as well. People are free to consume goods and services in whatever quantity they like. There's no limit to it. As long as you have money and you can afford it, you can do it. Okay? And there is also competition among the people, among the enterprises, among the businesses. Okay? So, they can put the prices, they can choose to put the prices for goods and services as they are competing with each other. So, not caring about the people, but they can put those prices themselves. Okay? Because they have to compete amongst each other's businesses who can make more profit. Okay. So here the state, the economic state is called laissez-faire, where there is zero government's intervention. Okay. The economy is very profit motivated, self-interest motivated. Okay. Here is class conflict, because here who can thrive? The people who have control over capital, money, wealth. Okay. Who owns property, land. They can thrive. So when there are these groups of rich people only getting the profit, only making the profit, then there will be inequality and there will be class conflict between the class who are wealthy and between the class who are poor. There will be class conflict. And the price mechanism, the prices of the goods and services, they are decided according to the demand and supply for such goods and services. They will not, in a capitalist economy, the people's problems or issues or those are not understood. Okay, they are not considered. What is considered is how much demand is there for certain goods or services. What is the supply? Okay, according to that the prices are fixed. Okay, so that was capitalistic economy. Now let us look at socialistic economy. So when we looked at the capitalistic economy, I'm pretty sure you must have get a sense of how exploitative the capitalist economy was. Here it will only benefit the rich people. The poor people will always be at the lowest end. Okay, so here the rich people exploits the resources. The rich people they take advantage of everything. They only care about profit. So the system in a capitalistic economy is a very exploitative system. Now, when this exploitative system of capitalism or capitalist economy was understood, was seen, then there came another system, economic system, which is called socialistic economy. Okay, and that came to remove the exploitation of the capitalistic economy or capitalism. Okay, so socialism is the term from where socialistic economy comes. So what is socialism? So in socialism, the economic system, in socialism, the production or the means of production, they are owned and managed by the whole community. So you see the main difference between capitalism and socialism is that in capitalism, the means of production are owned by private individuals. But in socialism, the means of production are owned by the whole community, not individuals. Okay? So in socialistic economy or socialism, the state or the government owns all wealth and capital. So all land and property that is owned by the state or the government. The government also controls and manages the entire production activities. So all that economic activities are controlled and managed by the government. While in the capitalistic economy, it is managed and controlled by individuals, private individuals. Okay. So a person named H.D. Dickinson defines socialism. Okay. So he says socialism is an economic organization where material means of production, they are owned by the whole community and operated by representatives of the people who are responsible to their community according to a general plan. So here the community is involved for the operation, for the production, or the economic activities that take place within that community. Okay? So now let us look at the features of socialistic economy. The first one is that the property is social, meaning the property is owned by the whole community and not few individuals. Okay? Here the government is the only producer. The government is in charge of the production of goods and services. The government manages and controls the factors of production and exchange and distribution of goods and services. Here there is economic equality. In capitalist or capitalistic economy, there was inequality. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. And the rich are exploiting the poorer sections. But in socialistic economy, there is economic equality. The division between the rich and the poor are not stark as that in the capitalistic economy, because here the wealth is owned by all. The management and the control is done by the government who is elected by the people. And in socialistic economy, the economic planning takes place. Okay, the economy is planned, but in capitalistic economy, it is not planned. They're free to do however they want to conduct the production, distribution and exchange. Okay. So in socialistic economy, the government takes control of the economy. But in the capitalistic economy, the private individuals takes control of the economy. Now the third division of the economy based on the ownership of production is the mixed economy. As you can tell, mixed economy means a mix of both capitalistic and socialistic economy. Okay? A person named Anatol Murad defines that mixed economy is that economy in which both government and private individuals exercise economic control. So you see, in a mixed economy where there is capitalistic as well as socialistic elements of economy, there both the government and the private individuals come together to control the economic activities. So here in the mixed economy, the best elements of capitalism and socialism are adopted and used, and the bad elements or characteristics of capitalism and socialism are absent from here. Okay? In mixed economy, the advantages of private enterprise and private property are appreciated. They are understood, they are appreciated, and they are used also. Okay? So, the economy is motivated towards self-interest and profit. But at the same time, the government also runs some of the industries. And that means the government also is in control of the management and production of the goods and services. So in mixed economy, the economy is divided into two parts, which are public sector and private sector. So by public, it means government owned, and in the private sector, it means private, individual owned. Alright? So in a mixed or in a mixed economy, the basic and key industries are controlled by the government. Okay, the necessary, the most important industries are controlled by the government, and the rest of the industries are controlled and managed by the private sectors. Okay, but even those industries, even those enterprises which fall under the private sectors, they are controlled by the government. The control of the government is not absent completely in the private sector. Okay, here the free market mechanism and economic planning coexist. So just like how we saw that in capitalistic economy, the market is free, and in socialist economy, the economy is planned, it is well planned. So both of these features, they coexist in a mixed economy. Okay? The government controls and manages the private sector through licenses and permits and also policies, government's policies, laws, etc. Okay? The government itself enters into production. So the government does not merely sit and then let the private sector to take in charge of the mixed economy. The government itself gets involved in the production, distribution and exchange of goods and services as much as the private sectors. Okay, so there is a coexistence of both public and private enterprises, businesses and sectors. Okay, and when at times the price of a commodity in an open market, if it gets too high, like for example in capitalistic economy, the enterprises, the individual owners, okay, they can put the price of a commodity as high as they want, because they want to make most of the profit, right? So the people, even if they cannot or do not want to pay that amount, they have to pay such a high amount to get that commodity. That happens in capitalistic economy. But in mixed economy, if the price of the commodity is very high, then the government intervenes, okay? And the government supplies that commodity which has very high price, okay, in limited quantities and at reasonable prices to the people, to the consumer. Now this is called rationing, where the government provides such commodities at lower prices and in limited quantities so that everyone can have it, so that everyone can consume it. Okay. So the government imposes control on both the demand and supply sides of the market. The government keeps a close look, keeps a careful look, keeps a check on the demand and supply of goods in the market. And when there is a slight up and down, or when there is a demand for certain goods, when there is a shortage of supplies, the government intervenes and acts accordingly. Okay, so India has a mixed economy in its country. Okay, Most of the countries in Asia and Africa, they also have mixed economy. So some of the features of mixed economy are that there is coexistence of private and public sectors. The economic activities are planned. The economic activities of the economy is beneficial for the masses. Okay? Beneficial for the people. It is not only beneficial for the wealthy people or the rich people and not beneficial for the poor people, but rather it is beneficial for all the people. Prices here are regulated and administered by the government. Okay? It provides, mixed economy provides greater welfare to the people. It makes sure that people are provided or people are meeting their needs. They are not having problems. Okay? It protects the interests of the workers. So the employees, the workers, the laborers, their interests are also protected by the government here. Okay? They are not exploited. There is reduction of inequality of incomes. So the inequality of income, the inequality of wealth among the people is also reduced. It's not eradicated or completely absent or overcome, but it is reduced. Alright? So what we can say is that mixed economy is a midway between capitalistic economy and the socialistic economy. It is a middle path. Okay? Here, the best features of capitalistic economy and the socialistic economy are drawn and applied. And the bad features, the features which do not need any application, they are just removed. Okay? They are avoided. Now, the fourth classification of economy is on the basis of the level of their development. Okay? Now, in this classification also there can be two divisions. The first is developed economy and the second is underdeveloped or developing economy. Okay? So, let us look at the developed economy first. Now, what is a developed economy? Developed economy is an economy where there is high level of per capita income and high standard of living. What does this mean? High level of per capita income. In every country, people can make their income. Okay? Now, if the economy is not good enough, the capacity of people to make the income is low. Okay? If the economy is good, the capacity of people to make the income is high. Okay? So, in developed economy, people can make more income per person. Okay? And because of their income, because of the money that they make through their economic activities, their standard of living is also high. If the level of per capita income is high, the standard of living also goes up high. If it is low, the other one also goes low. In developed economy, there is exploitation of natural, physical and human resources. Natural physical resources meaning the raw materials that are available around us, in our countries, in other countries. And humans, the human being, people also form one of the resources because people can go to the factories and work. People can provide labor. People can provide workers. So, the resources are exploited here because of the high industrialization that takes place in developed economy. Okay? In developed economy, large-scale employment is provided to people. There's so much employment, job opportunities for people, opportunities to make earnings or livelihood for people. Okay, so some of the countries with developed economies are America, United States of America, Canada, England, Japan, Russia. Okay, so some of the features are in developed economy there is high level of per capita income. Okay, and the level of national income, the income of the nation itself. There is income of each individual and there is income of the whole nation. When all the people of that country put together, what is the income? So that income is also very high. Okay. There is predominance of industrial and service sectors. So the industries and service sectors dominates in developed countries. There is full exploitation of all kinds of resources, natural, human resources, physical resources. Okay. There is technological advancement. The technologies available here are highly advanced and they have high standard of living. Now let's look at underdeveloped or developing economy. What does it mean? So in contrast to the developed economy, in underdeveloped or developing economy, the level of per capita income is low and the standard of living of the people is also low. Okay. Here agriculture is the main occupation. Okay. And traditional methods are used for production. Natural and human resources remain unexploited, whereas in the developed economy, the resources are exploited. But in underdeveloped or developing countries, the resources remain not only unexploited but underutilized. Okay? Some of the countries which are considered underdeveloped, they are Burma, Sri Lanka, India, Brazil. Now, these economies which are underdeveloped economies, they are also known as developing economies. Why? Because here the process of economic development is undergoing growth and more development. The activities are undergoing more growth and development. There is progress. Okay. So, in a developing economy, the significance of agricultural sector tends to decline. So, agricultural sector becomes less important and industrial sector becomes more important. In fact, the main sector of economy. Okay. So, some of the developing countries are India, Pakistan, Malaysia and Indonesia. Okay. According to the Planning Commission of India, we have a Planning Commission in India and according to it, it defines that an underdeveloped economy is characterized by coexistence of greater or less degree of unutilized or underutilized manpower on the one hand and of unexploited natural resources on the other hand. So, I already said that in developed countries, the manpower and natural resources are exploited. But in underdeveloped countries, the manpower and natural resources are underutilized and underexploited. Okay, unexploited. So let us look at some of the features of the underdeveloped economy. So here the level of per capita income is low. There's high growth rate of population. Agriculture is very important or dominant. Okay. There is unequal distribution of income. There is problem of unemployment. The level of productivity is less and there is technological backwardness. Alright. So these are the features of underdeveloped or developing economy.